It was past midnight when I realized that silence has a sound. A soft, heavy kind of silence that presses down on your chest, makes every creak and rustle echo louder than it should. Tonight, I'm going to share 3 terrifying, creepy stories that will make you question what is waiting for you in the shadows. Story 1. The Shadow in My Room. I had just moved into a new apartment, a small studio on the edge of the city. It was cheap, maybe too cheap, but I didn't care. I just needed a place to start over. The first few nights were quiet, uneventful, but on the 4th night I woke up at 3:14 a.m. to the faint sound of scratching. At first I thought it was a mouse in the walls. I turned on the lamp expecting to scare it off, but the sound didn't stop. It changed, slow, deliberate scrapes, like fingernails dragging across wood. I scanned the room, heart pounding, but saw nothing unusual. My closet door was open a crack, but I could have sworn I closed it before going to bed. I got up, trying to convince myself it was nothing. As I reached for the closet handle, the scratching stopped. My breathing felt deafening in the silence. Then, from behind me, I heard the softest whisper, "I've been waiting." I spun around. The room was empty. No one was there. My chest tightened, my vision blurred slightly. I slammed the closet shut, locked the door, and tried to sleep with the lights on. The next morning, I noticed something that made my stomach drop. The closet wasn't empty. At the very back, etched into the wooden wall, were hundreds of scratch marks. Small, human-sized, and carved beneath them was a single message: "Don't turn around." Story 2. Tapping on the window. 2 years ago, my family rented a cabin deep in the Adirondack Mountains for a weekend getaway. No neighbors, no Wi-Fi, just endless trees and a still silent lake nearby. On the first night, around 2 a.m., I woke to the faintest sound, a tap against the glass. I ignored it at first, thinking it was just branches swaying in the wind, but then it came again. Tap, 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 slow, deliberate, not random. I pulled back the curtain just a little, just enough to peek outside. At first I saw nothing but blackness, then my eyes adjusted, and I saw it. A pale face, pressed against the glass, hollow eyes staring right at me. I froze, my hand gripping the curtain so tightly my knuckles went white. I wanted to scream, but before I could, the face vanished into the darkness. I woke my wife and grabbed my phone, but there was no signal. We locked the doors, double-checked the windows, and tried to convince ourselves it was just my imagination. But just as I was drifting back to sleep, I heard footsteps on the wooden porch outside, slow, heavy, pacing back and forth, right outside our bedroom. I lay there, holding my breath, every muscle in my body screaming not to move. Then, as suddenly as it started, the footsteps stopped. I forced myself to peek outside again, but this time there was nothing. The next morning, I stepped out onto the porch to see if there were any footprints. The wood was wet from the rain, smooth, clean, untouched, but carved into the railing right below our window were 3 words etched deep into the wood. "I found you." Story 3. The Vanishing Hitchhiker. It was late one night when I was driving down an empty highway after visiting a friend. The road was endless, lined with tall, dark pine trees that seemed to swallow the moonlight. Around 2:20 a.m., I saw her, a woman standing by the side of the road, dressed in a long white gown. At first I thought maybe her car broke down. She didn't move, didn't wave, just stood there. Against my better judgment, I slowed down and rolled the window slightly. "Are you okay?" I asked. She didn't answer. Slowly, she turned her head toward me. Her eyes were black, completely black. Before I could react, she smiled, a slow, unnatural curve of the lips. Then she whispered, "Don't stop." I slammed the gas and sped off, heart hammering so hard I could barely breathe. I kept glancing at the rearview mirror, half expecting to see her standing there. But she wasn't. For a moment, I thought I was safe, until I glanced at the passenger side mirror. That's when I saw it, a faint, pale reflection sitting in my back seat. I jerked the wheel, swerving violently, and slammed on the brakes. When I turned around, the seat was empty. I drove straight home, locked every door, and sat awake until sunrise. The next day, I told my friend what happened, expecting him to laugh. But instead, he went pale. He said, "That's not the first time someone's seen her. That stretch of road, people call it Dead Mile. Years ago, a woman died there, and they say she still waits for someone to take her home." Outro. Hook. If you've made it this far, you're braver than most. But remember this. The next time you're alone in your room, driving down a dark road, or sitting by a window late at night, don't ignore the sounds you can't explain.